Pain go all the way through. That could be a barrier in life or anything. Punch hard. Loose! Loose! You gotta punch it hard enough. Punch through it. You feel pain?
Yes, sir.
Shake that off. Let's go. Loose! Loose! Zeus! Zeus! That's what this is about. Good. Let's get to that. Why are you crying? That's what this is about, son. It's okay to cry. We cry as men. Tell me, why are you crying? It's called a test for a reason, but why are you crying?
Hello, and welcome back to another episode here on the Bridge Reacts, and I'm your host here on the channel, Marcus. Thank you so much for stopping by to see another episode here on the Bridge, where we're talking about good things, we're talking about great things, we're also talking about positive things as well. Here on the Bridge, where we believe in long-lasting relationships, stronger family, having mom and dad there in the household, raising that child together, learning, healing, and growing together so we can have a stronger working force, of course, a strong community and within the culture. If you like what we talk about here on the channel, please subscribe, hit the like button and notification bell as well. Welcome to the channel. We really appreciate you here. Today's video, we are talking about something a little bit different when it comes to masculinity. Again, I've said it so many times, I am not the end all or be all. I'm just a person. I'm just a young man trying to learn how to be a better young man. Today's video, we are reacting to Lecrae. Big shout out to Lecrae and his video titled, "That's Not a Real Man." Jason Wilson challenges Lecrae. And basically just showing that, that red pill alpha man thing isn't all what you think it is supposed to be. And it's just a grift for the most part. We already talked about this before on the channel, but if you don't believe that, check out the video and give me your thoughts. I'll leave my thoughts at the very end of this video and I will get straight to it. It's a little bit of a longer video, but I want to make sure I get the point across because this is a real thing, right? This is affecting a lot of men, a lot of relationships out here, and all these men who are trying to play this part when you don't necessarily need to play this part. Be yourself. Be a decent person, be a decent man. Morals, values, be someone who actually cares about the community, his people, his woman, his children. Just be a decent person, man. And let's get straight to the video.
The whole alpha male concept is a myth. There is no battle between two wolves to see who's going to lead the wolf pack. From a human standpoint, the alpha wolves are those that are married. Your whole embodiment is to please women, from the glasses to the cigars, to the big Bugattis, to the Ferraris, to the shoes, to the clothes. But yet you the alpha, but yet your whole life is geared around pleasing women.
Man, let me tell you, hold on, time out. I get a lot of books. I'm reading this one.
We were created to be more than masculine.
Yeah, well, that's a fact.
Throughout the Psalms he cried, but no one dared test his masculine attributes.
How would you define masculinity or define manhood?
Well, that's the catch right there.
This is The Deep End with Lecrae.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited for y'all today. See, I'm excited for y'all because if you don't know, you gonna know. I beg you to stick around for this because sticking around.
This video is over an hour and 14 minutes. We are not watching the whole thing. I'm so sorry. I will put the link in the description. Let's go.
Means growth. Today, we got the honor of welcoming an incredible individual to the podcast today. We got a transformational leader. We got a best-selling author. We got a trailblazer in emotional intelligence. So I might be crying today. You know what I mean? Character development. We got my brother Jason Wilson. Jason is the CEO and the founder of the Cave of Adullam. And I probably didn't say that right, but we'll get it right by the end of the cast. You know what I'm saying? Basically, it's a transformational training academy. So we got martial arts happening.
Because it is harder to do with my left hand.
Okay, good. But you did it, though. In life it's going to be things harder for you to do than other things.
Yes, sir.
And those things that may appear to be hard to do, you're going to have to do as a man, regardless. And it's going to take tears. It's going to take the blood of Yeshua, Jesus, and your sweat to break through it. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So I don't mind you crying. I cry a lot too. You know what I'm saying?
In disenfranchised communities, a lot going on here. And then on top of that, man, you didn't help tons of people navigate their emotions. Tons of people break barriers and discover their potential. And so your books, Cry Like a Man, Battle Cry. Of course, we got this one here, yes. The Man, The Moment Demands.
He wrote Cry Like a Man. I've heard that book series before.
Are challenging stereotypes. And I'm just grateful, man. But man, I'm honored to have you, bro.
I'm honored to be here, brother. And as I said, walking in, I'm really proud of you. your longevity. And I remember when it all started, I just appreciate you sharing the other side of who you are and showing so brothers know that we don't have to wear this facade, you know, and the Superman cape that's strangling so many men.
Right.
It's time to take that off and
it's a good way of saying
the humanity that the Most High has given us to live in. So I commend you for all.
Hey, man, I'm honored. It's always helpful to hear somebody who can put a person in the arm bar tell you that it's okay to cry.
Yeah, for sure, man.
You know what I mean?
I had to, that's, I think, what launched everything for the cave. And so, but prior to that, brother, I don't want to get too far ahead.
No, go ahead.
But what's interesting, you bringing that up, as I was writing this book, I'm like, man, what allowed my boys the freedom to cry? Because when I first started, I embodied just only discipline. In martial arts, that's all they saw. They didn't see a tender side to me. But when my mother was had developed dementia, she had a mini stroke. And my wife had came into the area where we were training, and I knew something was wrong. And she called me over, and I said, hey, what's going on? She says, Mom had to get rushed to the hospital. She just had a stroke, a mini stroke. That was the first time, brother. So here I'm in the middle, my gi, ready to train, my kids excited, all the fathers are there, and I get overwhelmed with emotions. And I'm fighting it, and I'm like, man, what is this conflict? David cried throughout the scriptures. Yeshua, Jesus cried. Why can't men today release what I believe from studying the Most High's way to release stress hormones from the body? This has been proven by Dr. William Frey. In that moment.
And that is truly why you do feel better once you release that emotion. I'm not saying like bawl your eyes out, sit there and just like in a fetal position and in a pool of your own tears, like just for days. Like, obviously let it out. The emotions are fleeting. You need to let that out, that energy out. You can't have it just pent up and stored within you, lash out and have outbursts. And that's not good for anybody, including yourself and including the people around you who care about. It's not good, right?
One of my students get up, say, Sharath. I didn't want to be called sensei, which means teacher. Call me Sharath. In Hebrew, that means servant. So I'll always be reminded of my role in the cave of Adullam.
That's
and he
dope.
said, Sharath, can I pray for you? I'm like, yeah, sure. When those kids surrounded me, man, I broke down. That was like the gateway or the key to not only their freedom to be human, but the fathers.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're facing fear and you're feeling that you may not make it. And we all face that from time to time. And as soon as we hit resistance, we want to stop, right? Because it's hurting. We feel that pain. We're like, I'm not going through this no more, right?
Exactly.
We have to go off as men. It's going to be very painful. You're going to need mental fortitude. You're going to have to be strong here more so than here. You understand?
And so when that video went viral, we had already been set free. And God wanted to use that moment to set the world free, the men who are emotionally incarcerated.
Emotionally incarcerated. That's a great way to put it.
I love that.
So I'm glad you told that story, actually, because a lot of people would have seen a moment like that, but not necessarily been ready to step into it in a healthy way. And so I kind of want to backtrack and see like what had your experiences been that, because there's always a trial before the triumph.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I know a little bit of your story, but I'm interested in learning a little more. Like, I look at myself, I was what they call a hangbanger. You know what I mean? I wasn't a gangbanger. I wasn't in, but I hung with
That's
the bangers.
good. That's
you know
good.
what I mean? I'm
I
a
never heard that
hangbanger.
before.
Yeah.
I was a hangbanger then.
Okay.
I wasn't all the way in, but I was around.
So I'm just curious, like, growing up on, I know that had a lot of negative effects on me, had warped my views of masculinity and manhood. And I'm just curious, like, you even mentioned, like, you tried to prove yourself, and like, talk to us a little bit about that journey and what that looked like for you growing up.
Well, growing up, man, not really understanding the impact of unresolved trauma. And in my community,
That could be a video by itself.
Which is Detroit, right?
Yeah, Detroit. From Detroit, West Side Detroit, right between 8 Mile and 7 Mile.
Okay.
Between two of the largest gangs, 7 Mile BKs, 8 Mile Sconies or Smurfs. The gold standard for a black male was to be hypermasculine, to be dominant, show no weakness, infallible to fear. you know. And so inside, I was raised to be a good boy, but I was literally born into trauma. My grandfather was lynched in 1935, and that intergenerational trauma carried over from my mother's siblings to when she got married. Her first husband was abusive. He used to hit her like, sacks of meat hanging like in a Rocky movie from what my brother told me.
Sheesh.
And then he would walk through the house slapping them with the flat sides of butcher knives when he was upset. He would shoot his gun in the home. And I just praise Yah that my brother still has his...
Is that even hyper masculine, or that's just a psychopath? That's not even like, that's wild, bro.
sanity, because he grew up in that. And not only that, in 1973, when I was 3, my brother Larry was murdered. And so here it is, starting from my grandfather's lynching, it just keeps going and keeps going. And if not for my birth, my mother said that she would have probably taken her life. She already, from what I was told from the neighborhood, people who supported her, that she was just out of it because Larry was beloved by so many people in our community. And I share that because we moved from that side of town because I kept, every time the doorbell would ring, I would run to it and say, Larry, Larry, Larry. And so here's the trauma revisiting again.
Wow.
We moved to the west side of Detroit, beautiful neighborhood, but dangerous.
Right.
You couldn't tell,
Right.
but it was dangerous. And I tried to be this kind boy who I was. I loved art. I loved playing the guitar and, being creative. But I had to pick a side. And my father wasn't there, same city, just wasn't present. He had his own wounds. And the gang became my big brothers. After my older brother moved to Texas, Sinclair, the gang. I knew not to go so far because, inside of me, it was like, I don't want to put my mother through that again. But I did a lot of foolish things and things that I regret to this day. Kids who were kind, I would have, I never like bullying, but just to be cool with the gang, I would sell out kids who were just friends of mine who were nice. You see what I'm saying? And I saw that like, wait a minute, what's happening to the culture? And then the music, brother, every album cover, no one smiled. Rakim was one of my favorite. I ain't no joke. E40, what was it? I practiced looking hard, and so all of that shaped me, changed this kind-hearted, loving, full of joy, loving my mom into someone who became angry, frustrated. Me and my mother, at odds because she didn't want to lose another son. So anything I tried to do that was a little risky, not as far as like dangerous, but where it would take a chance, she would like discourage me. And so here it is at that pivotal age for most boys, 12 years old, grades are plummeting. My mother and I are not getting along. She wants to get me on medication because no one really understood how effective, negative rather, the father wound can be in a young boy's life. And so that's what shaped me.
And we had a video, father wound, like fathering is what it's called. Put the description somewhere here. Please check it out. It was a really amazing video by Otto Kelly. Otto Kelly is his name. Amazing video. Please check it out. The father wound is real. We need to heal that as men, as women too, but especially us as men if we want to be fathers and husbands one day, right?
Into, this hard-hardened young man, became a DJ, real popular in 1986 in Detroit. A rap group was called Chaos and Maestro. We did concerts with Public Enemy, X-Clan, who was Will Smith and DJ Jazzy Jeff when they were together.
Oh, wow.
So we were really popular. Then God started calling me at like 17, brother.
Okay.
Amen. So
wait, you were pursuing music.
Absolutely.
You wanted to be an artist.
Yes. Yeah, I wanted to be the best DJ, and I was, I think, one of the top in my city, definitely, easy.
Yeah.
But then I started making beats, and that became a goal. You see Jam Master Jay and all of them, like, I can do this, I can do it. I finally had an identity where I didn't have to be the killer, but I was the guy who orchestrated the music for the killer. So I was...
You could be connected to it.
They called me Maestro. I could always rock the club, and I was just like, all the music. So all the gang members would love me to DJ their parties.
That's crazy.
And so it was a way for me to stay cool, but not necessarily become a gangster.
You can do it. You just gotta put your mind to it. And it's good to cry so you can work through that emotion. So when it arises again, you can push it to the side and do what you gotta do. You understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, good. Let's see what you got. But you need to dig hard. Try to work hard as you can.
This video is very long, like I said before, and there's so much more you can get from this, and I highly recommend you checking out this video. I'm gonna get straight to my final thoughts. I'll keep it short because this video is already long enough. My final thoughts, right? Hypermasculinity and, you know, the whole alpha male, beta male, what was it? The other one, all that stuff, like all those different types of like masculinity sub-genres. I feel as though that is another form of attack on men or masculinity, on our mental and emotional health, the way that we view the world, the way that we view ourselves. Now, again, I truly believe that we as men should be strong to a degree, right? We should be not just physically, mentally, and emotionally, but also being able to process our emotions and show that slightly feminine side as well. We are a balanced being. We are human. You're allowed to be both of those emotions, both of those energies, but society would benefit more. Your family would benefit more, and your future people who need you and depend on you would benefit more if you are channeling more of that masculine side of it. Not saying that you can't be feminine or you can't show any kind of nurturous vibe or being nurturing or being able to let down your defenses, being able to be more in tune with your emotions, being vulnerable, being able to process them, being able to, instead of use your fist, use your mind, your spirit, your soul. And I think that's perfectly valid. I think a lot of us need to understand that we can be ourselves. As I said before in a previous video, like imagine an empire or a society where a lot of men are much more feminine. They are much more emotional. They can't control their emotions. They like to go around and, you know, off each other, go out and just have outbursts and do what they want instead of being much more, you know, having some level of discernment, some level of just discipline to be silent, be able to listen and learn, be still. Those aren't toxic traits, and those are more masculine traits. Not saying that women can't do those things or they can't, in a sense, be feminine to a degree as well, but still, imagine a society that has all those traits or lacks all those traits. How strong would that society be? Full of crime and a lot of just terrible things happening to women and men, when you can just have, you know, a much more masculine type of men within a society or in that empire, dynasty, whatever you want to call it, but they're able to still control their emotions. They're still able to process them. They're still able to, in a sense, cry. They're able to not dictate, but lead, not be overbearing, but, you know, be there to show up. That's the difference. Like, I don't understand why a lot of people are trying to shove down men's throats these days well, I do understand. It's a grift. It's all, you know, the Tate brothers and all that stuff, like Fresh and Fit, especially Myron, all that BS, bro. Like, don't give into that. Like, be yourself. Again, still try to channel that more of that masculine side, but do not be afraid to have that feminine side, that balance, because we are human, and that's okay. It really is. And you guys can tell me what you think in the comment section about this video, Lecrae, and of course Jason Wilson. And when it comes to just masculinity, when it comes to the red pill space, we talk about that so much. I'm trying not to talk about it as much because like, let it, you know, just stop talking about it. Let it die. But I'll see you guys in the next episode. Really appreciate you for sticking around, and subscribe, like button, and of course notification bell as well. And you guys have a nice one. Be safe out there.